Hey, you look like you could use a haunted hidey hole break. And look at that, I had the perfect haunted hidey hole coffin right here. So I got this little succulent mold and it's so cute, I love it. And that'd be a good way to use up some of my dirty clay. You know, clay that's been rolling around with other clay, getting dirty. And then I took my mica powder, or maybe it's Asha powder because I'm not named anyways, and I covered my mold with it. And then I just smashed my dirty clay into the succulent holes. And then once all my holes were filled with clay, I popped them right out. Okay, I kind of lied. It wasn't exactly that easy. It took a few times of me smashing the clay and totally ruining the design before I realized if I freeze it first, they pop right out. See, look how satisfying this is. Oh yeah, that's a good succulent. All right, and then I got bored because there's only so many times that I can smash clay in hole, freeze, pop out, repeat. So I thought I'd try some UV resin instead. And yeah, I know, calm down with your comments. I should be wearing gloves. You big rule follower. I'm just kidding. If anybody knows, I know because I'm actually allergic to resin. But look, hear me out. I was being super safe. I promise you. I didn't touch any of the liquid and I just couldn't justify using a whole pair of gloves, you know, save the turtles and the landfills. But hold up, look at all these little succulents. They're so cute. Now let's succulent our grave. Oh, but first, maybe we should add some dirt. Here's my jar dirt. Most graves have dirt, right? I mean, unless you're buried above ground. What are those called? Sarcophaguses? Sarcophagi? Crypts. Although that just makes me think of something creepy. You know, like the Crypt Keeper. That was a show, right? Or was it a series of books? Maybe it was both. Anyways, I'm just gluing down a grave inside of our grave. I know, it's grave inception. Not only do we have one grave, but two graves. Was it a grave mistake? Maybe. Ooh, and then I thought this would be a good spot to add my signature because then it won't wipe off or anything. I thought it was a good idea. See, look, it's a permanent signature. And then that gave me an idea to bury other things down here, like little Easter eggs. You know, the stuff that you would get buried with, like personal belongings. I don't know why I added these pictures. Usually you don't get buried with pictures unless they're really important to you. Then I guess you could. Ooh, I know, maybe that's like their favorite vacation spot. Or maybe somebody's just trying to hide evidence because I don't think this is an official grave. Maybe it's just a hole that somebody dug to hide all the incriminating evidence because this is a haunted hidey hole. And usually to make things haunted, you need a tragedy. And what's more tragic than a murder? You know, an unaliving. So I think that's what we're going with because that's what I just decided. And every murder site needs a couple skulls. So I guess that would make our murderer a serial murderer. But we can't just add skulls. We got to add some larger bones because I assume that your body has more than just a skull bone. And look at that treasure. I don't know why somebody would bury treasure except pirates. I mean, I know they bury treasure. Ooh, is this some sort of mass pirate grave? Maybe. Or maybe these gems were cursed. Ooh, maybe there isn't an unaliver. Maybe this is just a grave of cursed items. See, look at this picture. That's pretty cursed. And all these skull bones are from the people who got cursed. Although I don't know who dug the hole. Okay. Maybe the curse makes you dig your own grave. Ooh, spooky. Hold up. It's not Crypt Keeper. It's Tales from the Crypt. I just remembered. I know that comment was like 2 minutes ago. And then do you remember when I made all that pirate treasure for my pirate submarine ship? Well, I had leftovers, so it goes into the hole. Ooh, sparkly. Into the hole with you too. All right, now we gotta fill our grave in with, well, I thought dirt would get too gross. And I didn't have any pebbles or anything, so I went with moss. It's fine. You know, it's a mossy grave, but it still has to look like there's some dirt on top. So I traced the grave and covered the top of the grave hole with paint. Then I used the cardboard grave, which we just traced, and smushed it on top. See, when I flip it over, it has the perfect hole impression. Now we just flick our hole out and cover it in dirt. Once our dirty hole has all the dirt it needs, we can glue it into our coffin. See, doesn't that look like a dirt top now? Kind of. And then you can still see all the stuff inside. You know what? Ignore all the white glue. That will dry clear. For now, it just looks like mold. And then we cover our hole with even more dirt frosting. Doesn't it look like frosting? It kind of looks like frosting. I kind of want to eat it, but it's also kind of gritty. It's sort of like paint. I really want to eat paint. Anybody else have that strange urge to eat paint? Speaking of paint, now it's time to paint our dirt green because we want a grassy grave. Remember all those succulents we made? Well, we got to put them somewhere. And succulents don't live on dirt. Well, okay, they do, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. Ooh, look at that. We're adding our first succulents. You know, the top of this grave is going to be really pretty, while the underside is going to be very spooky. Maybe that's how it gets its victims. You see, I'm going to add these crystals, and crystals have like magical powers in most stories. So maybe these crystals have magical evil powers. And if anything touches them, it gets cursed along with the person. And then they go around and they curse other people and then they dig their own grave after 27.5 days. Look, it couldn't have been instant because then they'd never be able to curse anything else. They'd just be relying on foot traffic. And how many people are going to be walking towards a mass grave in the middle of the woods? Especially if you keep seeing people digging holes nearby and then falling into said holes. Look, see, there's an above ground skull. He didn't make it. He was an old guy. I think he tried to dig his own grave, but you know, there's only so much you can do with old people muscles. Ooh, yeah, it's coming along good, but I'm kind of bored, so I'm going to speed up the rest of this part. All right, there's our skull and our crystals, our cursed crystals. Now I'm just going to finish off the edge with this twine. And then I was thinking this coffin kind of has a blue hue to it, and these crystals are blue. So I'll just fill my coffin. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to fill the whole hole with crystals. I like crystals as much as the next person, but that's a little too much. We just need little crystal icings, you know, little bloops of crystals. And then you know your girl loves a mushroom, which helps with the cursed mind control because, you know, mushrooms, they control your mind. I don't know why I always think that. Oop, and then I added a sword. I don't know. I just thought it would fit alongside these bones. It seems like it would be a good cursed item. All right, now let's paint these boring mushrooms because they're boring. And add a whole bunch of leaves. Look at these little leaves. Are they not adorable? Look, you get a leaf. And you get a leaf. And you, Mr. Skull, get a leaf. And look at that, we're done. What do you guys think of my cursed coffin? My coffin full of curses? And what haunted hidey holes should I do next? Now, just a little reminder, I have a book coming out in October. You know, if you want to make your own creepy creations from instructions that I wrote with only a few mentions of circle windows. And you can pre-order it, links in my bio. All right, thanks for watching, bye!